So in the previous video, we have seen what is aggregate planning. And now we are going to discuss about the different methods of aggregate planning. So different methods are level strategy, chase strategy, hybrid strategy. So let us see what is level strategy first. A level strategy seeks to produce an aggregate plan. Okay, we are planning to maintain a steady production rate or a steady employment level. So in order to satisfy changes in customer demand, the firm must raise or lower inventory levels in anticipation of increased or decreased level of forecast demand. Okay, suppose a company has a production capacity to manufacture maybe some 100 1,000 units. Okay, you have a demand forecast of maybe some okay, so maybe the demand forecast is 1,100. Then you need to gradually raise this demand, raise this production capacity to match this demand. Okay, so we are changing the inventory levels, etc., in anticipation of increased or decreased levels of forecast. So one strategy is that, so sometimes the forecast demand for after sometimes the forecast is comes down to some 700. So if you are manufacturing only 1,000 cars, okay, suppose you are manufacturing 1,000 cars continuously, that is the level strategy. So that means we are not able to meet the demand at this point, but gradually, so if you manufacture like this, you have an inventory. So when the demand is 700 cars only, we have an inventory of 400 cars or 300 cars. This inventory can be used to meet the demand during this time. Okay, so the firm maintains a level workforce and a steady rate of output when demand is somewhat low. Okay, so initially it will maintain a demand of 1,000. Okay, this allows the firm to establish higher inventory levels than are currently needed. So at this point, if the demand was only maybe some 700, so that means you are producing in excess, so you are storing that in inventory, which can be used when the demands, if the demand suddenly rises to 1,200 at a later period. Okay, like that. So that means the production is maintained at the same level, but we are using the inventory that is stored in inventory whenever it is needed. So the demand is met using inventory. So as the demand increases, the firm is able to continue a steady production rate or steady employment level while allowing the inventory surplus to allow the increased demand. Okay, so another alternative for this level would be used to use a backlog or back order. A back order is simply a promise to deliver the product at a later date when it is more readily available, usually when capacity begins to catch up with diminishing demand. So suppose you are planning to buy a car, you approach a car dealership and orders it. So sometimes you may get it after only some 6 months. Okay, at that point the company may not be able to meet that demand, but after 6 months when the demand is low, it will supply the car. So that is called the backlog or back order. That means you are promising to deliver the product at a later date when it is more readily available, because the company is having only a same level of production or same level of manpower. Okay, so sometimes it may not be able, sometimes at this period it may not be able to meet the demand, so it will meet the demand at a later stage. In essence, backorder is a device for moving demand from one period to another, preferably one in which demand is lower, thereby smoothing demand requirements over time. So we are smoothing the demand requirements using this level. So let us look at the figure here. So this is the level strategy. You can see that during these seasons, you can see that here you have the same demand and the capacity and the same production. And in winter, you can see that the demand is lower and the production is higher. Okay, in spring also demand is lower, production is higher. So that means the higher production leads to an inventory. So we are storing the products in an inventory, and this inventory surplus is used to meet the demand at a later stage. For example, here in summer the demand is very high. So let us take the case of an air conditioner. You know the demand is very high in summer, and you have the same you have the production that is changing. uh, you can see that so it is not changing, the production remains same, but the demand is continuously changing. But at the in rainy season or in winter, the demand for air conditioner is very low. So at that time we are producing air conditioners and store that in inventory, and during the summer season we are using that inventory to meet the demand. So this is called the level strategy. Here you are maintaining the same level of production. So the next method is the chase strategy. So as the name suggests, chase strategy looks to dynamically match demand with production. Okay, that means we are not storing anything in inventory. We are adjusting the production according to the demand. Advantage of chase strategy is that it is to lower inventory levels, because the inventory needs cost more, because to maintain the inventory you need to spend some huge amounts of money. So in this strategy we are trying to eliminate the inventory and backlogs. So disadvantage is lower productivity, quality, and depressed workforce. We will see why it is so. So the capacities, that is workforce level, production schedules, output rates, etc., are adjusted to meet demand requirements over the planning horizon. Let us understand that with a figure. So mainly deals with matching demand and capacity period by period. This could result in considerable amount of hiring, firing, or laying off employees. That means to change the production dynamically, that means to hire and fire the employees, and also we need to procure the raw materials at a different level. See, these are the important things in stage strategy. So let us understand with the help of a figure. You can see here the production. You can see the production is changed according to the demand. Also, any point of time the demand and capacity for are same. We are not storing anything in inventory, but the main problem is that you need to fire and hire employees during different seasons. Okay. Next one is the hybrid strategy. The chase and level strategies are two extreme strategies. We are not using them directly, so we are usually using a mixture of these two strategies. So chase strategy minimizes inventory cost and level strategy minimizes smoothing cost. Okay, so these are the advantages of these two strategies. Chase strategy eliminates inventory and level strategy minimizes smoothing cost, because there is a you have the same level of production. The goal of optimization is to identify a production plan that minimizes total inventory and smoothing cost. Okay, so we are optimizing the production plan such that it minimizes total inventory. We are not eliminating it, but we are minimizing the total inventory and also the smoothing cost. This can be done using linear programming, that is a technique in operational research.